Hello guys and welcome back to the channel. Real quick here before some of this bad weather rolls in. We're at the in-laws house, which is the garden I've been working on, or we've all been working on for the past couple of years. And I want to give you guys a tour because of just how beautiful it is here. And I want to show you a couple other interesting things like the bee house that we've got going over here, some of the progress on the apple trees, and then we're going to harvest some vegetables over there. Take a look at the grapes, raspberries, and then other flower gardens we've got over there. So just a quick point of view, we've got clematis, peonies, some tiger lilies over here, a couple of little hostas we just put in. And then along this side, we've got ladies' mantles, a bunch of other different flowers, coneflowers, our willow tree, another clematis here. And the whole garden is just filling out so nicely. I really like the way it looks with this willow tree in here. We've got a bunch of bee balm. And speaking of bees, that's right where we've got our hive here. Now what's interesting is that block in the middle, can't tell if that's all new. I think those are all new leaves from this year. And then they're also filling up all of these tubes here. You see any of those that have leaf material, that's brand new material that all of the bees are filling up for next year's solitary colony. So I guess, well, that doesn't really make sense. The next year's growth, the next year's youngs, the brood, if you will, of bees that are going to come next year. That's what all those tubes are full of. Little cocoons and eggs that are going to produce some incredible pollinators for the plants here in the garden. So I'm super excited that bee barn has taken off, and we've got so many of these bees just going in and out constantly. They are beautiful too, really, really interesting. I see them on all sorts of flowers here in the backyard, which is a great sign. That's from Midas Bees, by the way. That's where I've got all of the cocoons. This here that's growing inside of our flowers is some sort of it just popped up, some sort of a blackberry. They're a little bit bitter, so not really a cultivated species. No, don't go in there. Just get the regular raspberries. Just a real quick look at the apple tree. For some reason, these things have been attacked real bad by bugs this year. It is a young tree, so I don't know what that is that's causing that. If you guys happen to know, leave a comment down below if those are from bugs or if it's some sort of disease on this specific tree right here. The other one has no fruit at all, as is. And then in our garden here, we've got a ton of really big kale. Again, since we moved and everything, I haven't been over here at these gardens spending any time in them. So we're going to see some things struggling. Obviously, the kale have had no problem. We've got red Russian kale and then dinosaur kale in here. See, some of those kales are just massive. And then inside we also got some radishes that I'm going to try and pick out. Broccoli's finally growing. And then a couple of weeds. I'm going to start paying attention to the tomatoes since they're starting to grow a little bit. So we've got tomatoes. They do look really well for, me not having weeded anything. I haven't done any watering. But because we have so much organic material in the form of mulch and wood chips up on the top and then mixed in this whole garden, it is doing really well with water retention. So tomatoes, let's see if I can get a couple of radishes or something from in here. Oh yeah, look at that. So I'm just gonna pick all these out at this point because they are starting to flower. Wow, guys, just look at that. We got a ton of radishes right there. They're looking great. And then the pods are also edible. So pods like this are super yummy, edible, and nutritious. So if you get them before they get too stringy, they're a great snack to have around the house and can be used in a bunch of different recipes too. All right, let's go see what else we can harvest today. These cucumbers, I am going to pop them over here and try and get them to grow up this trellis. For some reason, they're just not liking the trellis this year. We've got beautiful cucumber right there. Oh gosh, there's a problem. Ugh. Look at that, it was growing right in the grate. Okay, I'm not going to do much with the tomatoes right now, but it's about time to start clearing out some of the areas around them, doing some weeding. Some of these big ones that have just grown, again, because I don't have time to pay attention to them right now. The pole beans right here are growing up, and the onions in this bed didn't do too hot. I just don't think they have enough sunlight. I mean, we've got a couple of nice ones in here, but they should be harvested pretty soon here despite their small size. And that's about it besides of all of our kale. So we're going to cut a bunch of this kale up and get that ready to freeze and then prep into a bunch of other stuff for the kitchen. It's like, wow, that's huge. Oh, you got an onion? I guess we'll eat that one. Oh, that one done too? Okay, no more. We'll leave the rest grow bigger, okay? A couple onions. So when harvesting, we've got, let's find a good candidate for you guys. There, we've got this main growth here. That's all the new growth. And then we've got supporting leaves, obviously creating photosynthesis and feeding the plants. So when we harvest this, we just don't want to cut everything off. This is called the cut and come again. So there we go. We cut off all of those and then get a couple of more. Just use the scissors. It's what we've got here. I don't have my normal shears or anything that I would use. Those are at my house. So just like that. So what we've got is a few of these bigger leaves on this one, and then the new growth right there as well. And all of the rest is going to be harvested and eaten. So all that beautiful food right there off of one kale plant here. Yeah, we've got a lot of it. Got some of the Swiss chard here. I love the colors on that, and it's so tasty. This is also a weed, but it's lamb's quarters, which is highly nutritional and is actually in the same family as quinoa. They are really, really good as tender little seedlings that are about 4 to 5 inches long. Incredible to just like cook in a pan, like if you're sauteing them or something like that. Really, really good. Or use as a substitution for spinach in a lot of different dishes. We've got our blueberries that we transplanted from, we had them in the raised garden bed for a year, and then we transplanted them out here. We figured it'd be a good spot for them. Those are doing pretty good. They didn't have too much shock after the transplant. Our grapevine looks like it's going to be producing pretty nice fruit this year. We got a couple of really good bunches. The biggest thing with this is just picking them before all the birds and bugs and everything else gets to them. So timing is really crucial with these grapes that we have here on this vine. We got some more flowers. Some of the stuff is blooming, some still isn't blooming yet. Got sedum sarmatosum all over the ground, sedum autumn joy, bee balm, and phlox. I'm surprised those aren't blooming yet. Zinnias, bee balm, Russian sage. Gorgeous. This is purslane. I won't talk about it because I talk about it a lot in some of my videos. Just Google it. Purslane, amazing. Highest concentration of omega-3s out of any other leafy green, and it tastes incredible. Don't throw it away. Grow it in your gardens in specific areas. It grows like a weed, like crazy, but this stuff is so, so tasty. Another view of that. Let's go over to this side, look at some of the raspberries. Hey dude, how are the raspberries tasting?
They're not good.
Real good, huh? He has picked through just about every one that is ripe. We've had a ton of raspberries already this year. They did kind of lay over, so they have some damage from that. Actually, the ones on this side of the fence are doing almost better, which is surprising because they're on a north-facing wall, so they don't get a lot of sunlight at all. But they're doing great. Some of the canes that we transplanted. And we got some zucchini growing over here. We've already taken a few off of them. And it seems like every day there's another one ready. Kind of cool how it's growing in the corner like that with the tendrils going out and growing. All right, well, I think that covers just about everything here in the backyard. We've got some gorgeous kale that I am ready to use in a couple of different recipes. Lots of radishes, radish pods, onions. We've already got a bunch of cucumbers, peas, and then a couple of other radishes and beets from the other gardens that we have. So, got a little bit of everything so far, even though we haven't been able to spend any time or attention on the gardens. You get the plants in, they're still gonna provide you guys with a little bit of a harvest. Thank you guys all so much for watching. Happy gardening, and we'll see you in the next episode.